Yo, what's up? He said he's going to be, and the text he sent me is, I will be there in literally 6 minutes. So we have 6 minutes, so I figured rather than keep everyone waiting, I'll just join. I'm just going to be placing the MLB bets that I'm getting in there. I love UFC. I love watching it. Have no idea how to cap it. Let's go ahead and put a UFC card up here so people know when they click that they're tuned into the right thing. Ortega minus 170, Rodriguez plus 145. Sorry for this. This is our first time doing the UFC live. He's never done it before, so like I said, he'll be on. He said 6 minutes. That was about 2 minutes ago, so he'll be right on here. There we go. Let me get the comments up here. So basically, we're just hanging out for 4 minutes till he gets here. Yo, Jess, if you're down to do a live, we could do a tennis live. Especially right like during a major, I think we would get some views in there. So if you're down to do a live one when you're ready with have notes to go through like 6 or 7 matches, we could definitely do it. I would rather wait towards when there's like a big tournament going on rather than just some random. Hey man, I appreciate you guys more. Trust me. This is about 2 years ago. When I started this, I did it because I love making videos. I used to be a freelance video editor, so I love betting on sports. So I did it like just as a hobby. I wasn't expecting it to become a career. And the fact that I'm able to do this for a living now, trust me, I am grateful for you guys more than you're grateful for me. Trust me on that. You're most welcome. Thank you for watching them. Alright, so like I said, he said 6 minutes. That was at 6:02, so we got 3 more minutes. There was a couple more MLB bets I wanted to get in. That was a good show, by the way. I don't know if anyone caught the MLB show. That was a good one. It went an hour and 25 minutes, which is longer than usual, but it was a lot of fun. Let me get the Phillies and Red Sox money lines in. Boom. So what did I do before? Okay, so I was actually in jail for a lot of my 20s. I had a drug addiction, and so when I got out of jail the last time, I was like, I had nobody left. My family had cut me off, and I was in this halfway house, and they had this shitty little laptop in there. And for some reason, I was just like, yo, I want to learn how to edit videos. So I was waiting tables at Applebee's at the time. And I would spend every hour I wasn't working on that laptop teaching myself tutorials. Like how to do this kind of spin with text. Or how I would just like watch every single tutorial. So then I would email production companies in New York City. Like, give me a chance. I'm self-taught. I don't have a degree, but I promise I'm a hard worker. And after like months and months of emailing people, finally someone answered and gave me a shot as an assistant editor on a TV show. It was a Caribbean TV show. It was Caribbean's Next Top Model Season 3. I was the assistant editor. And I killed it. I did so well that in Season 4, they named me lead editor, and I won a Caribbean Television Award for outstanding editing. I killed it. And then after that, I did reality TV for a few more months, but then I really wanted to produce my own stuff. And I knew that I wanted to do sports. Yeah, so that was how. And then I started the channel, and then it grew so fast. Like, I read so much stuff about how to grow YouTube and what kind of growth to expect. Mine went so much faster than like all the articles said. Like they were like, expect you're looking to have 1,000 subscribers within the first year or whatever it said. And I remember like blowing that number away. I mean, I have coming up on 34,000 subscribers, I think, and it's only been like 2.5 years, so I grew really fast. Okay, just messaged me, parking now. So he's coming on. I'm sorry for the delay here, guys. It does fly by. That's what I'm saying. When we ended, it said 1:25. I was like, shit. Like, we were talking for over an hour. It's crazy. Got to get this done. I got the old ball and chain coming over in about an hour and a half, and this place is a mess. She's cool. Not that she'd care that the place is a mess, but like, you never want to have a significant other over it and your place being a mess. Yeah, man, it was so... I couldn't figure it out. Like, I was back and forth between rehab and jail, and I couldn't figure it out. And it wasn't until... I truly think editing videos saved my life, to be honest, because it was like I found what I was supposed to be doing, finally. I don't know if that's kind of the best way I can explain it. Like, I was always... I feel like everyone who struggles with addiction has, like, one thing they're insecure about. A lot of people, they're insecure about finding a girlfriend or boyfriend. A lot of people are insecure about, like, the way their parents or something with their family. Or mine was always... I knew I had potential to do something great. I just couldn't figure out what it was. So my insecurity was always like, I'm never going to reach my potential. I'm just going to be a loser my whole life. And when I found video editing, it was like, wow, like I found something I'm truly really good at and I love doing. So I think that's like what kind of saved me, to be honest. I think he has 8, and I think he has 3 from the undercard and 5 from the main card. So he's going to be giving out 8 picks. I think he has 8 picks and 2 VIP picks. So I think we're doing 8. And he said parking now, so he should be on here any second. Oh, yo, Ryan Winter. Hell yeah, you have. I remember your name, man. Yeah, there's a few guys, whenever I see them, I make sure I give them a shout, because, I mean, I remember when my videos were getting like 100 views, and like some of those names that were commenting back then are still commenting now. It's awesome to see. No, I use, well, right now I'm using, for this live show, I'm using Wirecast. And I've had pretty good success with it. I would recommend their software. It gives you a lot of capabilities. You can see I have all kinds of stuff going on. During the baseball, I have all kinds of graphics. Gives you a lot of different flexibility that you could do. But for editing the videos that you see, like during football and basketball season, I use Adobe Premiere and then After Effects for the motion graphics. What would you like to know about me, man? He said, wait, hold on. I think he might be coming in now. He said, I clicked the link. I don't see him yet, though. Sorry for this delay, guys. I was just going to wait, but I figured it'd be easier for me to hop on live, so you know that it is going to happen. It looks like he's home now. He said it's not letting him join, but I've done this with a bunch of people, and that's never happened, so... There we go. At the top, I don't know if you can hear me, bro. At the top, there's little drop downs. You click your camera and your mic. Looks like he's in here, so we can finally get started. Don't worry, he's coming. He's joining. He just didn't set up his camera, it looks like. He has clicked the link and he's joined. At the top, if you can hear me, MMA Court, the judge, if you can hear me, at the top there's a little icon that says microphone and a little icon that says camera. If you click the drop down and select your camera and mic, you should be good to go. Come on now. Come on now. Don't be shy. Just waiting on him to figure this out. It looks like you have yourself muted. There's a little... You don't have a mic set up, because there's a little mute button next to your thing. A mute icon. That means you don't have a mic set up. Or you don't have the mic selected. In the very top of the Wirecast Rendezvous dashboard, there's drop downs, and you need to select microphone and camera for yourself. There's a lot of everything. There's a lot of everything in New Jersey. Yeah, I like Jersey people. It's a very... oh, wait. Looks like you might be coming in. It's a very diverse state. I think it's the most densely populated state in the country, if I'm not mistaken. You get all different kinds of people here. Yeah, people are aggressive drivers. Those stereotypes are true. But the stereotypes like I grew up on the Jersey Shore, and the stereotypes of like the Jersey Shore stuff are not true. Those are people that come from North Jersey down during the summer. The people that are actually from the Jersey Shore, it's a very like surfer dude type town. So that's like what the town is really like. And then during the summer, we have a lot of tourists that come down for the clubbing and the fist pumping and all that. Where is this dude, man? Hold on, let me call them. If you're doing it on your phone... I think he has to download the Wirecast app. I'm so sorry for this, guys. Yo, you wanna... Who's that girl that had a TV show from Jersey Shore? A ton of them did, bro. You talking about Snooki? I mean... There's a lot of girls that had a TV show from the Jersey Shore. Yo, does anyone want to join in until he's ready? This is the cool guy show? Bro, I don't know if I want to bring you in here. Your picture is looking fucking crazy. You have white face paint on? I'm not trying to have any psychopaths on the show, man. Anyone that knows UFC? Because I don't know it. So I can't just like freestyle this. I did. Anyone in the comments want to hop on until Justin's ready? He's downloading the Wirecast Go app, so he should be on momentarily. Once he has the app downloaded, it's very easy. Sorry about this, guys. Yo, just... Here come... Yo! Are you here? I can hear you, yes. Thank God. The judge has made it. So here he is.
I can barely hear you guys, though. I don't know if it's my mic.
It's just me. It's just you guys. Just me.
Okay.
I'll bring the mic closer to me.
All right, because you're very staticky.
Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Is that better?
Perfect.
All right, cool. So we're ready to go. He made it, so I don't need a replacement now. So people in the comments. All right, so we're completely. I know that you have some fights you want to talk about. So how we're gonna do it is you tell me which fight you want to start with, and I'll type the odds on the side so everyone can see what we're talking about, and then we'll go. So which fight you want to start with? Do you want to start with the prelims, or you want to? Let's start with the prelims. Actually, we'll work our way up to the main.
Yeah, we gotta start at the beginning of the card, because I didn't pick every single fight because there's a lot of guys in here that I've never seen before, and I don't like picking fights of guys that I don't know about personally. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start early on in the card. It's actually the first fight in the card, and it's Jessica Penne versus Emily Ducat. I think that's how you say her name.
Okay.
All right, so with this fight, this is very interesting because from what I know, Jessica Penne is going off as the underdog here. Last I checked the odds on the money line, she was plus 120 as the favorite.
It's up to plus 135 now. Plus 135
It's up to plus 135. Okay, so now that it's at plus 135, it's an even better bet for me. Now, the girl Emily is on a little bit of a streak with her wins. This, I believe, is her first fight in the UFC, and Jessica Penne is a veteran. I think she's about 39 years old. And she had about a 3-year layoff as far as I remember, and the reason was because of a couple USADA busts and everything like that. She got drug tests and something came back in her blood where she had a tainted supplement. She had about 3 years off, which as far as I'm concerned, it's 3 years of recovery, and it's 3 years to get your mind back into the game. Now she came back in 2021. It's got 2 solid victories under her belt over 2 very talented people. And she's fighting a girl who's going on a little bit of a win streak, but she is susceptible to the submission. And the reason why I know this is because she's been submitted before. She's never been knocked out, but that's not really Jessica Penne's specialty. So I personally have to go with Jessica Penne on this, especially because we're getting plus 135 on the money line. I can't turn that down. And then as far as the submission goes, last I checked, she was at plus 250. It's probably gone up since then. But that's definitely that's going to be mine right there. I got to go Jessica Penne by the submission against this girl Emily. I don't think that the girl Emily is going to be able to win here. Jessica's very tough also on top of it, and she is a veteran. She is 39 years old, but the girl is very, very tough. So that's my pick on that fight.
So we got 2+ money plays there. I like it. Penne, money line 135, Penne by submission plus 250. That pick you made, was it last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago where you called that arm bar? That
was 2 weeks ago.
That was impressive. That was impressive.
I called the arm bar. I did not think that girl's arm would get broken though, because that girl broke her arm, and she's out for I think at least 6 to 8 months now.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got Rams fan in the comments saying he likes Ducati a lot. Well, we're on the other side here. We're on Penne.
Okay.
All right.
Next let's see.
Fight.
Move up the card a little bit. We're going to go with another fight here. Now, this one, it's not going to be a fight of the night, but I do think it is going to go to a decision here, and it's Ricky Simone versus Jack Shore. Ricky Simone, 19-3 against Jack Shore, who's 16-0. Now, Jack Shore, this guy is very, very impressive. I think he's Welsh. He's a Welshman, and the dude, 16-0, and he's fought very, very tough guys. It's not like it's 16-0 just inflated with crappy wins, especially in his last fight, which was, I don't know, I think it was earlier this year. He fought a very, very talented guy, Timur Viliev, and again, very, very talented guy, very good at wrestling, and he really couldn't get Jack Shore down. And if he couldn't get him down, I don't think that Ricky Simone is going to be able to do it. Now, Ricky Simone, his best thing that he has is his wrestling. He's got a lot of pressure. His wrestling is very good, and he's very, very, very tough. Jack Shore, great takedown defense, amazing on the feet. And I think he's a little bit bigger, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a couple inches in height, a couple inches in reach on him. I think Jack is going to be able to keep this on the feet. I don't think this is going to go to the ground. And even if it does, I wouldn't count Jack Shore out on the ground either. He is 16-0, and I know that he is going off as a favorite, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Like, usually when people see a guy who's undefeated, the odds are ridiculous. You know what I mean? But last I checked, it was minus 175. I don't know if it's still the same right now.
A lot of people, it's dropped, and it's one of our comments saying a lot of people are on Simon. And he said, I'm on Shore for that reason. Like, he's fading the public. Yeah, so it's down to minus 150 for Shore.
Minus 150, which is even better. It's better than minus 175.
If you like Shore, it's better. Money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm high on Jack Shore. The kid is so talented, really, really, really good. And as I said, his wrestling defense is really, really good, and that is definitely Ricky Simone's best weapon. And again, this is a guy. Ricky Simone was in the top 15 at one point, had a couple of losses, and then fell out of the top 15, and now he's back in the top 15. So this is going to be a real test for Ricky Simone, too. Shore has good D. I hope that means defense.
Yeah.
I hope that means defense, bro.
Yeah, he is a savage. He's done, I think, 5 cards, and 3 of them were, like, mega winners. 4 was a positive one, and out of the 5 cards he did, he only had 1 losing card. So, yeah, he's been a savage with these so far.
I've been doing my best with my research, especially, and this is what I mean. This is one of those cards where there's a lot of fights on here of guys that I don't really know that well, so I don't feel comfortable picking them. But those fights of the guys you don't know usually end up being the best fights.
Yeah.
So when people tell me, like, oh, I love the comment section on anything. It's always my favorite. When they're like, oh, this card sucks. This card sucks. I'm like, why does it suck? Because you don't know who's on the card. That's right. Because you don't recognize a name. That's why it sucks.
That means it sucks.
Yeah, it means it sucks. It sucks. I don't know who it is. Random troll on Instagram doesn't know who this is, so this card sucks. And those cards end up being the best.
Yeah, I mean, I still, to this day, probably only know the co-main event and main event consistently. And I've been watching UFC for like a year and a half now. I don't miss a Saturday. I'm not like an expert, but I truly enjoy betting and watching it. And I still haven't learned everybody, but I don't care because like you said, sometimes it'll be 2 nobodies. I throw a few dollars on the underdog and I'm having a great time watching it. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
The thing is, too, when it comes to UFC fights, first of all, I mean, more often than not, the turnover rate in the UFC is pretty significant. It really is, because more often than not, the rule of thumb, if you lose 3 fights in a row, you're gone. You're gone and you're not coming back. It's extremely rare for someone to lose 3 times, get cut, and then be brought back into the UFC. It doesn't happen that often. And, I mean, the guy I think of off the top of my head that did happen to was Brandon Moreno. It happened to him, and then he came back into the UFC and won the belt at 125, which doesn't normally happen. You know what I'm saying?
Did that rematch happen yet? Moreno versus the dude with the blonde hair?
Davison Figueiredo. Yeah, they fought for their third time, because the first time Davison ended up winning. He was winning the fight. But
it was close. That's why he got the rematch.
Yeah, it was close. He ended up. I'm sorry, he didn't win. He did not win. It ended up being a draw because Davidson ended up. Yeah, he kept the belt, but the reason it was a draw was because he had a couple of illegal shots and got a point deducted. If that didn't happen, Davidson would have won the first fight. When the second fight came along, Brandon Moreno whooped his ass, and it was amazing. He ended up submitting him.
That was
and then the third fight happened. I don't
remember the third fight. How did I miss that?
It wasn't anything like the first 2. It wasn't as exciting, or it was good. It was still very good, but it wasn't anything special.
I think I bet Figueiredo, if I remember correctly.
And he won. And he was the underdog.
And he was like plus 130. I remember. Yep.
Yeah. All right. He was the underdog. It was great. So, all right. So if we move up, we're gonna go to another fight here. It's a middleweight fight, and it's the last fight on the prelims, and it's against it's Punahel Soriano versus Dalacha Lunga. Oh my lord! Look at that name, Lunga Yamabula.
Oh my god. Okay.
That one's rough.
I'm gonna copy and paste this.
Yeah. So all right, Punahel. I'm gonna just call him Soriano. Soriano's 8-2. And the other guy is 11-4. Now, obviously, you can never go by. It's not good to go by the record, and this is coming from someone who just picked a guy who's 16-0 in his last fight, on his last pick. but you can't really go by the record here. Yes, he's got more experience under his belt. Luna Muga, we're just going to call him Delacha. He's got more experience under his belt. Yeah. So Soriano, though, 8-2. His last 2 fights were his 2 losses. And they were against very, very, very tough guys. I believe his last one was against Nick Maximov. And Nick Maximov he's from the Diaz army. He's with Nick and Nate Diaz. He's friends with them. He's one of their boys. And the kid is awesome. He came off the Contender Series, and he fought a heavyweight. And he's a friggin' middleweight. He fought a heavyweight on the Contender Series and beat the living crap out of him. A guy that outweighed him by like 40 pounds. He dominated him. It was very impressive. Got signed into the UFC. He had a couple of good wins, and he just recently had his first loss, Nick Maximov. But Punahele Soriano losing that fight, it was close, man. It was very, very, very close. Nick's grappling is amazing. He comes from the Diaz brothers. It's, anyone that trains those guys is going to have good grappling. So, lyrics from it. Bungia Bula, easy name.
He's saying it's an easy name. Sarcastically, he's saying it's an easy name.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope so, because I can't, I'm bad with reading, but that one's rough. And again, Soriano's other fight that he lost a decision to was against Brendan Allen, another veteran. The dude's got 20-something fights, very talented, another good grappler, very tough guy. Now, Soriano, his best chance at victory is on the feet. Call him Bula. I like that. I'm going with Bula.
Yeah.
So Soriano's best way to victory here is on the feet. This dude has so much power in his hands. And I remember the first time I saw him fight was before those 2 losses. It was against a guy named Dusko Tordovic. I think that's how you say his name. And Dusko, I believe at the time, was also undefeated. And he's really, really, really good. Soriano beat the living crap out of that guy. It was amazing. And he ended up knocking him out. He knocked him out like 3 times in the fight. He put him down so many times. He's got such good power in his hands. Now, Soriano trains with Eric Nixick over at Extreme Couture in Vegas. Eric completely transformed Francis Ngannou's ground game. I don't know if you saw the fight against Cyril Gane when Francis fought Cyril Gane for the heavyweight belt. Now, if Eric is implementing the same types of things, which he does, it's usually wrestling-based. If he inputs the same thing as with Soriano, over the past 2 fights, if his grappling has gotten better, because we've seen that was his weakness, I don't think that he's going to have a problem with the grappling. And if this fight stays standing, I think Soriano wins by knockout. I really do. So I'm going with Soriano by knockout. Last I checked on Fox Bet, I was at plus 187. I'm sure it's probably close to that still. I don't think it's changed that much. I'm
pulling it up on DraftKings now.
Okay.
Soriano by knockout's plus, excuse me, plus 140.
Plus 140. Okay.
So
it's gone down.
Like it. Yeah, that
means that people like it. Yeah, so I have to go with Soriano. I don't know what he is in the money line right now. I know it's in the negative. I just don't know by how much. But I think that he's going to finish the fight. I think he's going to win by knockout. I think it stays on the feet. I don't think Bula is going to be able to take him down, and I don't think he's going to be able to contend with him on the feet.
All right, Rams fan agrees. He likes Soriano also.
Excellent. Excellent.
Gotta like when we're all on the same page.
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you got in store for us next?
All right. So the next fight is going to be the first fight on the main card. And this is going to be, I don't know, I would call it a fan favorite just because you got a veteran fighting. We got Misha Tate fighting Lauren Murphy. Now, 2 women. Misha Tate's been around forever. Lauren Murphy seems to have been around for a decent amount of time. Obviously, nowhere near as much as Misha Tate. Lauren Murphy, fucking previous title contender. Not her last fight against Valentina Shevchenko at 125. I am not a Lauren Murphy fan by any means, but I am picking Lauren Murphy in this fight against Misha Tate. Yes,
I would not have guessed that.
I'm picking Lauren Murphy, and here's why. I love Misha Tate. She's hot. She looks good. And she looked very good in her first fight back when she fought. It was the older woman. My God. She was actually the oldest person in the UFC, Marion Renaud. She was in her 40s or something. Not the greatest record. I think she was like 9-9 or something. It wasn't the best. But she'd never been finished before. And Misha ended up finishing her. by TKO, which was impressive. And then Misha fought Ketlin Vieira at 135 pounds because that's her normal weight class. Ketlin abused her for 5 rounds. I'm actually surprised that Misha did not get knocked out. I think they probably could have stopped it a couple times. She demolished her. As we've seen in the past, when someone takes that kind of damage, they're not the same. They're just not. Misha's been knocked out before. She's been TKO before. She's been knocked out by Amanda Nunes. Holly Holm beat the living crap out of her before she ended up beating her by submission in the last 20 seconds. She's taken a lot of damage. She's older. Lauren Murphy did lose by knockout recently. It was the TKO against Valentina. It wasn't anything like bad though, like where you saw this girl get like severely rattled. Valentina is not known for like power, you know what I mean? Just a lot of volume, a lot of technicality, and just being perfect in every single way. Lauren, I think, is going to take this one. She's fought at flyweight.
That's my bad, guys. You guys are right. I typed it wrong. Lauren Murphy is the underdog. That's what you get for having someone producing the show that doesn't know UFC that well. So Lauren Murphy's the plus 180 underdog. And
okay.
Misha Tate. Right. No, that was on my end while you were talking. I typed it wrong.
Okay. So yeah, but Lauren Murphy, again, she's the underdog here, and I'm kind of surprised as to why. Because this is the first time Misha's ever fought at 125 pounds. Now, she physically has looked the best she's ever looked when she was at 135 pounds, but you're stripping another 10 pounds off your physique to make 125, and you've never done it before. It's risky. It's very risky. And if you took a beating in your last fight against Ketlin Vieira, you had your head rattled multiple times, and then you cut another 10 pounds to go down to 125, and you're dehydrating yourself, you're not going to have the same chin that you're going to have at 135. You're just not. I don't think Lauren has power to put her down, but Lauren's very good on the ground. I don't think she's better than Misha Tate on the ground, but Lauren is very talented. You know, as much as I really not a fan of her, and I don't really like the way she fights, I honestly think she lost her last 3 fights that she was in before she got the title shot. I think she was gifted a lot of split decision victories. I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me on that. Against Andrea Lee. There was another one too. And there was a lot of gifts on that card when she fought Andrea Lee. That was the one when John Jones fought Dominic Reyes. Joanne Calderwood, she fought her. I thought Joanne Calderwood beat her in that fight. So yeah, you would think that Lauren Murphy would not be my pick here, but I don't trust Misha Tate's chin at 125. I just don't. And I think Lauren Murphy is actually bigger than her. So, right. Height-wise, they're almost the same. It's an inch difference, but Lauren Murphy's got more reach, 67 versus 65 inches. And Misha's striking was never really that crisp to begin with. I think her only chance is to get Murphy on the ground and possibly win by submission, but I don't see what's going to happen.
You got you got a question here. Someone asking if you like the fight to go to distance.
Yes, Lauren Murphy doesn't finish fights.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So Lauren Murphy by decision if you want to get more risky.
Yeah, if you want to get more technical, I would take Lauren Murphy by decision. But I'm just going to go on the money line because, like I said, I don't trust Misha's chin at 125. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Right.
But again, I mean, like I said, not a huge fan of Lauren Murphy, but she really doesn't finish that many fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not really a finisher. She's usually a decision girl. I think she's got 6 decisions. She's got 8 knockouts on record, but almost every single one of them was before she was in the UFC. You know what I mean? When you're fighting competition like that, it's much easier to get finishes.
Cool.
Yeah, so fight definitely goes the distance.
Rams fan seems to be really into the UFC. That's why I keep putting his comments up. Like, he seems to really be into UFC betting. All right, so what is in store for us next?
Okay, so the next one on the card, this is going to be fight of the night. No question.
Okay.
Because anytime this guy fights, it's always fight of the night. My boy Shane Burgos. And he is fighting, who is his opponent this time?
Charles Jourdain?
Yes, Charles Jourdain. Okay. So, Shane Burgos, 14-3. Charles Jourdain, 13-4-1. The records are so close. They're borderline identical, which means the experience is borderline identical. This is going to be fight of the night. This is going to go the distance. Both guys are insanely tough. I do not see this going on the ground. It's going to be a war on the feet. Shane Burgos is an absolute animal, and Shane Burgos is my pick. I don't think that Charles is going to be able to win this fight. He's so talented, so dangerous, and looks so good in his last fights, but so has Shane. And Shane's 3 losses, one of which was so close, and it was against Josh Emmett, who is about to fight for the featherweight belt. If anyone watches my videos, I just posted something about what's going on at featherweight, but I think Josh Emmett deserves the next title shot. One of his losses, I think his second loss, was against Josh Emmett, and that was a war. Again, fight of the night. Both guys won a bonus on that one. That fight really was close, man, and Burgos was winning majority of the fight. I think it could have went either way, personally, but I am taking Shane Burgos. I'm going to take him on the money line, but I'm also going to take him by decision. I think he's going to win the decision. His last fight, again, I think it was also fight of the night against Billy Quarantillo. It was insane, but it was on UFC 268, which had, oh my God, how many amazing fights were that? Was Usman versus Covington 2, Rose versus Weili Zhang 2, Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera. They had a lot to compete with that night, but
right.
Yeah, Shane is unbelievable. So fun to watch. I mean, his nickname's the Hurricane for a reason. The guy's an animal. He's a little bit older than Charles, but he's got a reach advantage on him, and I don't see this going to the ground. I think Burgos takes this fight. I think we're going to see it by decision. We're going to see a war. It's going to be fight of the night. Those are my picks for that one.
Sounds good. Love it. Oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot to let everyone know. So he has a channel called MMA Court where he is the judge, and he dresses up as a judge and literally has a gavel and gives out judgments. And if you're a big UFC person, check it out because he gets in depth. Like, these are just quick picks, quick analysis and a pick because this is a betting channel. That's what I do here. But he gets deep into it, and he'll go deep into fight styles. And if you're a UFC person, if you really like mixed martial arts, that'll be the channel for you.
Yeah, please come talk to me because it's a lot of fun for me. I love.
That's the other thing is he'll engage with you in the comments all day. Like,
yeah,
he loves
it. I love it, and especially on Twitter too. Like during the fights, I love going back and forth with people on Twitter. So definitely, and again, just as always, I mean, everyone can tell me to go F myself, but just be respectful to the fighters. You know what I mean? Like don't do that.
Don't cross the line.
Yeah, don't cross the line. I hate when people
talk shit respectfully.
Exactly. There's a difference. All right, so what do we got next? Okay, so this one is going to be interesting. 6.5 reach advantage. Oh, and the Shane Burgos fight? Yeah, dude's got long arms. He can stand up and scratch his knees. So let's see. All right, so we got a welterweight fight against Liang and Musalim Salakov. Liang is arguably... actually, I think on paper, he's the most successful male fighter out of China right now when it comes to mixed martial arts. He's going against Musalim Salakov, 18-2, and Liang, 18-7. Liang's last outing, he fought everyone's fan favorite now, Khamzat Chimaev, and it was one of the most dominating performances I've ever seen, especially over a caliber fighter like Liang. Guy was dominated. It was rough. He beat the guy really, really bad. Musalim Salakov, this dude is so dangerous. So dangerous. And anyone with a name like Salakov, you know these guys got good wrestling. Plain and simple. And we just saw what happened to Liang in his last fight against a guy who's got really, really good wrestling. He got taken down, he got dominated, and ended up losing by submission. Liang has never been knocked out before, which is something that Musalim is actually his specialty. I think he's got 10 knockouts on his record, and he's got 18 wins, and I think he's only got 2 submissions. But the guy's got a great ground game. He's got very good wrestling, and he's got unbelievable striking. I don't think Liang is going to be able to contend with him on the feet. This guy is probably going to end up winning. I think he's going to win by finish. He could do it either way. He could do it by knockout or submission. Last I checked, by finish, I had it at plus 270, which is either knockout or submission. On the money line, same thing. He was going off at minus 175 last I checked, and it went down a little bit, right? So it's minus 155 in the money line.
I have for the money line. I have Salakov at minus 155, and to buy finish, I have plus 240.
Plus 240. Okay. So that means that people are putting money on it.
Yeah, that's good. And the books don't like it. They're adjusting. So Salakov by finish at plus 240, or are you betting the money line also?
I'm betting the money line also because I don't see Musalim. I'm sorry, I don't see Liang winning the fight. I just don't. And I think Salakov is going to be able to finish him. You know, I'm not saying Liang is bad by any means because he's very good. I mean, he knocked out Santiago Ponzibio. You know what I mean, which is not easy to do at all. I also do think that was also a bad weight cut situation, but Salakov is definitely going to take that victory.
Awesome. All right, so another pair of bets there in that one.
Yes, sir. We're moving up to the co-main event.
To the big money.
The co-main event, man. We got a strawweight fight between Michelle Waterston and Amanda Lemos. I don't know of anyone that's picking Michelle Waterston on this fight because if you do, I think you're crazy. And that's not trying to be disrespectful to Michelle Waterston. Amanda Lemos is horrifying. Like, I would not want to fight that woman. She's scary. She actually genuinely scares me. And the only other person that scares me that much, female-wise, is her last loss, which was against Jessica Andrade. Those are the only two females that, like, actually, like, scare me. And they're both, like, 5'3", which is, like, hilarious. Again, Michelle Waterston, man, she's a talented fighter, man. She's got good technique and everything like that. 18-9. Amanda Lemos is 11-2. Again, you can't really go by the record, especially in this scenario. But Amanda Lemos, more active, been fighting way more. Michelle Waterston, I think, has taken a 2-year layoff. And she's been making movies and stuff like that. When you start to do stuff like that, it's never a good sign. You know what I mean? It really isn't. That's when you start to see the downfall of a fighter a lot of times when they start doing that kind of stuff. And even if she wasn't doing that, Amanda Lemos is so tough. She's so powerful on the feet. She does have a good ground game too. And again, she got submitted in her last fight against Jessica Andrade, but it wasn't on the ground. It was, I think, the first ever standing arm triangle submission. And it came out of nowhere. It was quick and it was amazing. But before that, Amanda Lemos is knocking girls out. She's putting them down and she's hurting people. Michelle Waterston takes damage. She takes damage a lot. I don't think she's going to be able to stand with this girl. I think Amanda Lemos is going to win, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be by finish. I'm probably going to take it by knockout, though. I don't have the odds on that in front of me.
So Lemos by knockout. So knockout odds is plus 225. To finish odds is only plus 200. So it's not much of a difference.
Honestly, I would to play that one safe because Michelle Waterston's been submitted before. It could happen again. I would take that by finish at the plus 200. I would definitely not take it at. I wouldn't just take the knockout for
yeah,
that
I mean, if it's only
amount,
25 points, you might as well take the extra method.
Yes, you might as well take it. I think that Amanda Lemos, and I think Amanda Lemos on the money line, you got a list right there. It's minus 305. That's a little rough. You know what I mean? I don't want to say you're taking a chance betting it. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to win a lot back. But it's to me, that's not worth putting money on the money line. It's
minus 305 is tough. That's a lot of bread to lay out.
It's a lot. You know, if anything, if you want to throw her in the money line into a parlay just to boost that up a little bit, like a 3-fight parlay, I would say do something like that. Which I'm going to send you a 3-fight parlay that you could post for the VIPs.
Yeah, that'll be for the VIPs. Yep.
So, but yeah, that's how it's going to go, man. Amanda Lemos is going to finish that fight.
Sounds good.
If she had 5 rounds to do it, I would say, dude, bet the house on that one. But she's got 3 rounds to do it. All right, and then we move on to the main event. Now, I just posted 2 videos on my channel about this.
About this fight?
About this fight, this main event.
Okay.
The first one was before I heard the news about what may happen if Yair Rodriguez wins this fight.
And what may happen? What news?
Apparently, if Yair Rodriguez wins this fight, he is going to get a title shot. And if anyone follows this pretty closely, that makes me so angry because it's... Can I curse?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll be right back. I got to take a piss.
Okay. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely fucking insane that they're going to give a title shot to this guy if he wins this fight. I love how Yair Rodriguez strikes. I think he's great at it. I think he does a lot of flashy bullshit that doesn't work against high caliber fighters. It worked on the guys on his way up, and it hasn't really worked against the guys he's fought thus far. But my biggest problem with Yair Rodriguez is the constant complaining, sitting out, waiting for a title shot, which he's done in the past. He ducked Zabit, who just retired. Not that he ducked him for a while. He pissed off Dana White and got cut for like 3 weeks because of it. And then he just lost against Max Holloway. And in my opinion, it really wasn't close. You know, it was a great fight, but it wasn't close. And now they're talking about him getting a title shot if he beats Brian Ortega, who's also coming off a loss. So you're on a 1-fight win streak. Meanwhile, Josh Emmett is on, I believe, a 5 or 6 fight win streak and hasn't lost since he lost to Jeremy Stevens years ago. And he just beat Calvin Kattar. A lot of people argue that he didn't win, but he won. He won on paper. It is what it is. So the fact that they're going to let him leapfrog Josh Emmett drives me crazy. And then on top of that, I think that everyone that's following this kid, wants to see Alexander Volkanovski move up to 155 pounds. I can't imagine not wanting to see what Volkanovski can do at the weight class above him right now, especially after he just dominated Max Holloway. So, but this fight, and he picked it. You beat me to it, you son of a bitch.
Oh, he called your pick, Ortega by sub?
He called my pick. Ortega by submission. I don't see. I don't see Yair Rodriguez winning the fight. I just don't. I honestly, I'm taking this on the money line, and I'm taking it by submission. I'm taking both. Last I checked, submission was plus 250. I don't know if it's gone up or down since
then.
Down
to plus 200, so it must be
down
taking
to plus
money.
200. There you go. So, the couple of things. One, Yair Rodriguez, when this guy goes on the ground, he doesn't know where the fuck he is. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's his TKO loss to Frankie Edgar. Sports betting wasn't even legal in New Jersey at the time, and I was pissed because I was like, Frankie's gonna win this. This flashy bullshit kick stuff. It's not gonna work against a wrestler at all, and it didn't. Frankie took him down and beat the living crap out of him. So Brian Ortega, after his last fight with Volkanovski, I listened to a couple interviews, and anyone that watched those fights saw him get Volkanovski into unbelievably tight submissions. He got him in a guillotine and he got him in a triangle, and somehow Volkanovski got out of them. Normally, people don't get out of that, especially when it's from Brian Ortega. In a couple of interviews, Ortega said that after the fight happened, he saw it. He was like, how the hell did this guy get out of these? This doesn't even make sense. And then he reviewed the footage more with his BJJ instructor, which is escaping me at the moment what his name is. He is a Gracie, I know that. And his teacher said like what he did wrong, and then he saw it. He was like, oh my God, like how did I miss that? And he's like, well, the reason I missed it was because I got so used to being so good as a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I have not been on the mats enough practicing what I'm good at and focus more on the striking, which we saw the difference when Ortega lost to Max Holloway and then came back and he fought the Korean Zombie. We saw the difference in his striking. We haven't seen him really go to the ground except when he did against Volkanovski. Volkanovski was able to slip out. Most people would not be able to do that. This goes to the ground, it ends in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Yair Rodriguez is done. There is absolutely no way that this guy is getting out of any submissions whatsoever. Hopefully, Brian Ortega has worked on his wrestling to get it to the ground. You could have great jiu-jitsu, but if you can't wrestle, if you can't secure the takedown, it means nothing. It doesn't mean shit. So I hope that Ortega worked on his wrestling. I'm assuming that he did. If this goes to the ground, it's game over. Ortega by submission, plus 200, and on the money line, minus 170. That is a pick, and I cannot see it going another way. I don't.
There's a question in here. Is this a 5-round fight?
Yes, it is, which means more chance, more opportunity. And I think Yair only went 5 rounds one time, and that was in his last fight against Max Holloway. Ortega has done it on multiple occasions. and has gone all 5 rounds, and again took beatings. So I don't see Ortega getting finished, and that's the only way I think Yair is going to win this fight is if he finishes Brian.
This guy's saying that now that he watched this video, you made him change 4 picks. He changed Tate. No, you like Burgos though, and Salakov.
Yes. Well, yeah, you made me change Tate, Burgos, Salakov, Lemos by finish.
You had Lemos by finish. I think
I have her by finish, and I have Salakov.
You have Burgos by finish.
No, Burgos is by decision.
Oh, right. Burgos is by decision. Right.
Yeah, Salakov's by finish.
Gorilla Chap Music has been around for a while. He's been watching. I always see him in the comments. He's a good dude. Yeah,
awesome.
I always see him.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was our first ever UFC live. Went pretty well. Next time, because I just had a big MLB live finish, next time I'll have graphics ready with like the fighters' faces on the side. I'll be a little more prepared. Justin was just getting home. We kind of just like jumped on and threw it together.
It was tough logging in and stuff, so that delayed it a little bit.
Yeah, and next time we'll incorporate the comments more. Maybe like ask some questions, get some picks from the comments, because there's some really successful bettors in the comments on my channel always. So it's always good to hear from them. And make sure you follow. Justin on Twitter will be tweeting during the fights the whole time. So if you're watching the fights and want someone to just engage with on Twitter and share your thoughts, trust me, he's watching. So
please engage, because it's fun for me. I like to talk to people, especially when you like actually have something constructive to say and not just like dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, all right, thanks. But
didn't really give you much to go off of there.
Yeah. And I promise my office won't look like a disaster. My office won't look like a disaster.
It was last minute.
Yeah, but yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, any questions before we close it up? I'll give it about Ted, Mississippi. The one, honestly, of all the picks you just gave, the one that really had me was what your description of Lemos had me like, okay, I might bet the house on this woman, because it doesn't sound like there's any shot she loses.
She's not gonna lose to Michelle Waterston, man. I can't imagine it. There's no way that girl gets finished by Michelle Waterston. You know what I mean? Especially with the layoff and then her doing the movies and stuff. That's, like I said, that's never a good sign. Never a good sign. So
Stimmy says, "Yo, Sauce, I DM'd you on Grindr and got no reply."
Jesus Christ! Is that the gay dating app?
The gay Tinder.
That's disgusting.
You know what? I have my notifications silenced on Grindr because I get so much traffic.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, we got one question before we close. Rams fan, any thoughts on Grant's fights? I don't know what that means.
Grant.
Dwight Grant versus Dustin Stolfus.
Yeah,
if this is what he's talking about, we got Dwight Grant minus 120 against Dustin Stolfus plus 100. If that's what he's, I don't know. I might not even be pulling up the right one.
No, that's the one. I was actually thinking about doing a pick for that one. It's tough, man. Like that one's tough. Again, like both guys are good. It's Dwight got knocked out really, really bad in his last fight. You know what I mean? He really did. And he's going on a couple losses. I mean, he lost to Francisco Trinaldo before that. And like he's good. He's a good fighter. But he's coming off of three losses, I think. Like he got knocked out really bad in his last one. And I don't know who's the favorite on that. Who's the favorite?
It's close.
Dustin,
it's really
right?
close. No, Grant is a slight favorite.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of surprising to me. I mean, but and again, it's tough, man, because Dustin, Dustin lost his last 2 fights. I mean, you know what? If you want me to pick that one, I would say go with Dustin here, and here's why. His last 2 losses were against 2 of the best submission artists at middleweight in any organization, plain and simple. Gerald Meerschaert is his last loss by submission, which I bet that fight. I bet Gerald and I won by submission because Gerald usually If he wins a fight, it's by submission. I think I know he has the most submissions in as far as middleweights go in middleweight history. He doesn't have the most in the UFC. Nowhere near the most in the UFC because Charles Oliveira has that honor. And then before that, his loss again by submission was against Randolfo Vieira, and Randolfo is, I think, as of right now, as far as active fighters go, I think he has probably the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu accolades ever compared to anybody that is in the UFC currently. I don't think there's anyone that has more gold medals than that guy in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Recently, he has lost his last 2 fights, Randolfo, and it was pretty much because of his gas tank, and that was kind of it. But his last fight, if everyone didn't watch it, I think it was a couple weeks ago, it was against Chris Curtis, and that was insane. Chris Curtis had the perfect game plan against him. But as far as the fights go, his 2 losses were against 2 of the best submission guys ever, something that Grant is not. So I would say go with Dustin on that fight if you are going to bet it.
And the one came in from Toast. He said, from his uncle, who's a big-time bettor, apparently he loves the UFC, I didn't even know that, said Stolfus by submission from Toast's uncle, who loves the UFC. There you go.
Okay. Plus 400? Okay. I mean,
I'll take a stab at it.
Yeah, I mean, plus 400 ain't that bad. I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, and that's what I mean. Like, Dustin's he's 13-4, and his last 2 losses, like I said, were against guys who are the best at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then his loss before that was against Kyle Dawkins, another great guy, another good up-and-comer. I mean, I had that pick a couple weeks ago. He just lost by knockout against Roman Dolitz, I think his name was. But before that, man, Kyle looked really, really good. So, I mean, both guys are coming off 3 losses, so it's kind of hard to pick that whole thing. But the thing is that Grant got knocked out pretty bad. That's much worse than being submitted. It's so much worse because that is going to impede on future performances. Getting submitted is not, unless you break something, obviously, it's not going to impede your future performances. If you're getting your head bounced off the canvas, that's not good. And Grant is also like 37 years old, and Dustin's 30. That plays a big part in this stuff too. You get a lot of mileage on you. It definitely doesn't help. But I would definitely say go with Dustin on the money line. If you want to go with him as a submission also, I mean, it's possible. I mean, he's got 5 submissions on his resume that he's won by. It could definitely happen. I think Grant's been submitted a couple times actually too. If I look at his record here, is 11-5. His nickname's the Body Snatcher. I wouldn't go that far.
I feel like everyone has that nickname. I think I've heard that nickname before.
Yeah, it's not the most creative.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. I've been live for 3 hours. If you want to do one, there's some questions coming in. Someone said thoughts on Murdergy versus Snell. If you want to give out a pick quickly, I've been live since 4 o'clock, so I'm looking to shut it down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
do you have a pick for this one or no?
I don't. Not for this one, man. This is going to be a close one. What do you know? Do you have the odds on that one in front of you?
Yeah, I'm right here. I have it all open. Schnell. How do I spell Schnell? Oh, here it is. Schnell is a big underdog. Mudari is minus 265 favorite.
Yeah. Schnell is good. I mean, his last fight against Brandon Royval, I watched that one. It was good. Brandon's really good though, dude. Like really, really good. And but this guy Sue, I've never seen him fight before. So if you just go by statistics here on what we're seeing, I would probably end up going with Sue, man. I mean, I don't trust Schnell in this fight. It's tough.
And a minus 265 is like, is it worth laying any juice?
I don't think it's worth the money. You know what I mean? I don't think it's worth it. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Schnell's going to win this. Again, you got a big age gap too. I mean, Sue is 26, Schnell's 32. I mean, height, they're the same and everything like that. Sue's got a little bit of a reach advantage, but yeah, it's. Oh, yeah, that's the other.
If it's not worth it, let's not lay the juice.
Yeah, he's right though. The card starts really, really early. So for everyone that is watching this, the prelims start at 11 a.m. if you're on, what are we, on the East Coast? Yeah, if you're on the East Coast, 11 a.m. and then the main card starts at 2 p.m., which I'm not exactly upset about it because I could actually get a good night's sleep. So that doesn't really happen on Saturdays. So, but yeah, so I don't like that fight. I wouldn't touch it. You know what I mean? Unless you're willing to lay out money at a -265, which I wouldn't want to do personally.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. We're gonna try to do this every Friday night. We'll see. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to. So, yeah. So we'll do this every Friday night around this time. And next time we'll be more prepared. I'll have graphics and stuff. It won't be such a, like you can see at the bottom. It's it's baseball game ticker. I'll have like the UFC fights. I'll have the UFC fights typed out instead of the MLB. So I'll be prepared. But thanks everyone for joining. Make sure you follow Justin on Twitter. Check out his YouTube channel if you like in-depth UFC stuff. That's the channel for you. So. Once again, everyone have a great night. Baseball starting right now, and I laid out an irresponsible amount of money, so I'm going to pour another drink and get to it.
I'm going to pop an edible and fucking chill, too. So
yeah, pop an edible and chill. Everyone have a great weekend. And, we'll be back. We're going live 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, so I'll be back in 16 hours. So talk to you in 16 hours when our accounts are caked. Thank you for coming on, Justin.
No problem, man. See you guys.
Later. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good night.